Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am Muhammad Yasin. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. This virtual class is for the students of grade 5. We are going to do chapter 14 today, and this is our 26th video in this class. After today's lesson, we shall be able to understand the passage given in chapter 14. We shall understand the meaning and correct pronunciation of new words used in this chapter, and after that we shall do some exercises of this chapter. First of all, we shall start from a few new words. Some of you may be familiar with some of these words, but we shall try to understand their correct meaning and pronunciation. Here is behavior. Behavior is the way in which we behave with others. This is our way to deal with others. That is called behavior. Bracket you can see in the picture here also. Mostly they are used in mathematics, but we use in language subjects also. When there is bracket, it means either of two symbols put around a word, phrase or sentence in a piece of writing to show that what is between them should be considered. Dear students, here there is a word in front of you. This is breathe, B-R-E-A-T-H-E, breathe. This is used as a verb, and it means to move air into and out of the lungs of our body. As it is shown here on the screen, this is a verb and there is E at the end of this word. It will be pronounced as breathe. If this E is not there at the end, then this word will become a noun and it will be pronounced as breath. B-R-E-A-T-H, breath. B-R-E-A-T-H-E, breathe. If there is E at the end, it will be a verb and it will be pronounced as breathe. If E is not there at the end, it will be pronounced as breath and it will be used as a noun. This is jealous. Jealous is adjective and it means upset and angry because someone that you love seems interested in another person. There can be any other reason also, but the meaning is same. Pronounce. This is a verb and it means to say a word or letter in the particular way, in a particular way. Okay, here it is important also. This word is pronounce. And when we change it into a noun, it becomes pronunciation. Pronunciation. That is not pronunciation. No. Its noun is pronunciation and it is pronounce. When we say pronounce, it is a verb. When we say pronunciation, that is noun from it. Rickshaw. Rickshaw is a small covered passenger vehicle. You can see one in the picture. This is a manual rickshaw and there are some other forms also that you can see in the picture. Shark. Shark is a large fish. Dear students, in this lesson our language structure will be Would rather. Would rather. What does it mean? Rather means instead of. Rather means instead of. And we shall focus language structure containing would, containing rather in our today's lesson. In this chapter, our focus will be would rather. Now we shall start reading our today's lesson. This is chapter 14, and the title of this lesson is The Wooden Horse. The Wooden Horse is the name of this lesson. You can see in the picture also. It is very simple. Wooden horse means a horse made of wood. And after reading the lesson, we shall come to know why the title of this lesson is Wooden Horse. Before starting the reading the lesson, it is important to note that our reading target will be, after reading the lesson, we should be able to read out the story. You are going to read a story, and after finishing the reading of this passage, we should be able to read out this story to anyone other. If we are not able to read out the story, this means we did not read it carefully. We should read it again. Okay, this is the first paragraph of this lesson, The Wooden Horse. This is one of the oldest stories in the world. It was told by a poet called Homer. He wrote 2 very long poems. This story comes from the first of these. Some of the names are difficult to pronounce. The pronunciation is given in brackets after these names. This is second paragraph. The story is about a city called Troy. What is the name of the city? Troy, where people called Trojans lived over 3000 years ago. A Trojan called Paris went to a country called Greece. He visited King Menelaus, who had a beautiful wife called Helen. She was the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris fell in love with Helen, and Helen decided that she would rather live with Paris than with Menelaus. One day, when Menelaus was on a journey to another country, Paris and Helen went back to Troy. Yes, students. This is the second paragraph of this lesson. In this paragraph, we came to know about Menelaus, Paris, and Helen. Menelaus is the Greek king of Greece. Paris came in Greece to visit Menelaus. He is a Trojan. His name is Paris. This is paragraph 3. When Menelaus returned, he was very angry. He was a jealous man and would rather die than lose his wife. He asked his brother Agamemnon to help him to get Helen back and to punish Paris for his behavior. Agamemnon and Menelaus, with a collection of 1,000 ships and a big army from all over Greece, sailed for Troy. Yes, students, this is paragraph 4. When they reached Troy, they put up their tents on the seashore and began to attack the city. The Trojan soldiers fought very bravely, and the walls of Troy were high and strong. The fighting went on for 10 years, but the Greeks could not get inside the city. The Greek soldiers became tired of fighting and began to quarrel. Agamemnon quarreled with one of his leaders, Achilles. Achilles stayed in his tent and refused to fight. He was the best Greek soldier, and without him the Greeks began to lose the fight. Paragraph 5 is, the Trojans then came out of Troy and attacked the Greeks. They began to burn the Greek tents and to sink their ships. They killed a Greek soldier called Patroclus, who was a friend of Achilles. This made Achilles very angry. He joined in the fight again, and soon the Trojans were pushed back into Troy. But Paris shot Achilles with an arrow and killed him. When Achilles took his last breath, the Greeks knew that they would never break into the city. Yes, they were fighting while being outside the city, and it was not possible for the Greeks to get into the city. Let us move forward. This is paragraph number 6. They wisely decided to use a trick instead. They built a very big wooden horse. Their bravest soldiers climbed inside the horse and shut the door. The Greeks left the horse outside the wall. Then they burnt their tents and sailed away. They pretended that they were going back to Greece. The Trojans believed that the war was over. They came outside the city walls. They saw the horse, but they did not know there were soldiers inside it. They did not see the door in the side because it was cleverly made. They thought that the horse was a present from the Greeks. They made a big hole in their wall and pulled the horse inside the city. That night, when the Trojans were asleep, the soldiers opened the door in the wooden horse and came out. They set fire in the city and opened the gates. The Greek ships had returned, and soon Troy was full of Greek soldiers. The Trojans fought wildly, but they had been taken by surprise. Many were killed, and the rest ran away. Menelaus took Helen back to Greece, and the 10-year war was ended. Yes, students, we have read this lesson. We have read the passage given in this lesson, and I hope you are able to read out this story by using your own words. Now we shall start exercises. You can see this is first exercise. We are set to put a tick by the true sentences and a cross by the untrue sentences. The story of the wooden horse is part of a long poem. Yes, in the beginning of this lesson, we came to know Homer is the writer. Homer read 2 stories, long stories, and this one is part of one of that. The story of the wooden horse is part of long poem. Yes, it is mentioned here. It was told by poet called Homer. He wrote two very long poems. This story comes from the first of these. This means part A is true. Let us move to part B. King Menelaus and his wife Helen lived in Troy. Dear students, here we can read about that a Trojan called Paris went to a country called Greece. He visited King Menelaus. King Menelaus is living in Greece, not in Troy. Is that okay? This means statement B, King Menelaus and his wife Helen lived in Troy, is wrong. Paris came from Troy. We shall put a cross here. Let us move to the next part. Paris was a Trojan. Yes, a Trojan called Paris. Paris was a Trojan. We can see it written here. This means part C is true. Let us move to part D. Helen went to Troy to live with Paris. Here, Paris and Helen went back to Troy. This means this statement is also true. Menelaus wanted to get Helen back. Let us try to find out. Here we can see when Menelaus returned, he was very angry. He was a jealous man and would rather die than lose his wife. He asked his brother Agamemnon to help him to get Helen back. This means part E is true. Dear students, we have done first 5 parts of this exercise. Let us move forward to do remaining parts. In part F, it is written Agamemnon was the brother of Paris. Was he brother of Paris? When Menelaus returned, he was very angry. He was jealous man. He asked his brother Agamemnon. Yes, Agamemnon was brother of the king Menelaus. Agamemnon was not the brother of Paris. In F part, it is written Agamemnon was brother of Paris. Paris is the person who came from Troy. Menelaus is the Greek king of Greece, and Agamemnon is brother of Menelaus, not of Paris. This means this statement is false. Troy was a long distance from the sea. Let us try to find out. Dear students, much information I could not find in the lesson. Was it very far or not? But if we search, if we try to find out, we come to know that Greece is not very far from Troy by sea. If we go straight through the sea, we can see it is not very far. But if we go by road, then it is very far. But if we go by sea, it is not very far. Troy was a long distance from the sea. This is not a true statement. It is long distance if we do not go by sea. But if we go by sea, it is not very far. Very far. This means this statement is false also. Let us move to the next part. Greeks attacked Troy for 10 years without getting inside. Yes, in the lesson we come to know they fought for 10 years, but they could not get into the city. This is a true statement. Agamemnon was best Greek soldier. No, best Greek soldier was Achilles, not Agamemnon. This is a false statement. Achilles stayed in his tent because of a quarrel with Agamemnon. Yes, Agamemnon quarreled with Achilles. Achilles was best Greek soldier. Yes, we have read about this fight. This is a true statement. Let us move forward to do the remaining ones. Here, students, we come to know when the Trojan came out of the city and attacked the Greeks, a friend of Achilles was killed. Yes, friend of Achilles was killed. At that time, Achilles was sitting in the tent. He was not fighting because he was angry with Agamemnon when one of his friends was killed. This is a true statement. Achilles became very angry and killed Paris. This is false statement. After they had left the wooden horse outside the wall of the city, the Greeks went back to Greece. No, they pretend that they have gone, but they were there. Yes, this is a false statement. They pretend that they had gone, but actually they did not go. They were waiting for the night. We have read it in the story. Let us move forward. Here we can see the Trojans opened the gates of the city and took the wooden horse through the gates into the city. Dear students, we know Trojans took the horse into the city, but the horse was so big. They did not take the horse into the city through the gates. They broke the wall of the city to get the horse into the city. What does it mean? It means the statement is false. We shall put a cross here. They got horse into the city, but not through the gates, by breaking the wall. Next part is, when the Greeks returned, the soldiers came out from inside the horse and let them into the city. Yes, this is true statement. Helen was killed. No, she was not killed. Greeks brought Helen back. She was not killed. She was alive. Dear students, we have done exercise 1 and this is our exercise 2. In this exercise, we are set to make questions and answers like the ones in the examples. You can see examples in front of you on the screen. In example, if there is written an apple, an orange, we shall use both in 2 sentences. Our first sentence will be a question, and second sentence will be an answer. We shall use the first word in our question and the second word in our answer. By using apple and orange, our question will be, would you like an apple? Our answer will be, I'd rather have an orange. Rather means instead of. If there is written a kite, a bicycle, would you like a kite? I'd rather have a bicycle. Let us move forward and do the exercise. Yes, in part number 1 there is written a pencil, a pen. We shall write, would you like a pencil? I'd rather have a pen. If there is written some sweets, an ice cream, question will be, would you like some sweets? Answer will be, I'd rather have an ice cream. A saucer, a plate. Would you like a saucer? I'd rather have a plate. Let us move forward. Part number 4 is some tomatoes, a cake. Would you like some tomatoes? I'd rather have a cake. A potato, an apple. Would you like a potato? I'd rather have an apple. A rabbit or dog. Would you like a rabbit? I'd rather have a dog. Part number 7. A pen or radio. Would you like a pen? I'd rather have a radio. A wristwatch, a camera. Would you like a wristwatch? I'd rather have a camera. A puppy, an old dog. Would you like a puppy? I'd rather have an old dog. Dear students, these were first 9 parts of this exercise. This is part number 10. A spoonful of medicine, sweet. Would you like a spoonful of? Would you like a spoonful of medicine? I'd rather have sweet. Some honey, some jam. Would you like some honey? I'd rather have some jam. A goat, a cow. Would you like a goat? I'd rather have a cow. Dear students, we have completed our second exercise also. This was first part of the second exercise. And in your homework, you will read the passage given in chapter 14. You read 2-3 times. After reading, you should be able to read out the story by yourself. After that, you will do exercise 1 and part A of exercise 2 in your notebook. That will be your homework. Dear students, that is all from our today's lesson. See you later in a new lesson. Goodbye.